Good afternoon, members, volunteers, staff, and guests. Welcome to the Atlantic Federal Credit Union's 80th annual meeting. My name is Tammy Ward-Gower, and I am the chair of the board. Prior to being elected as the chair in 2020, I served as a vice chair on the then York County Federal Credit Union Board and on several committees, including the Education Committee, the Succession Planning Committee, the Merger Committee, and the Supervisory Committee. My background in education is in accounting, and I am a certified public accountant, currently employed as a professor at the University of New England. I was born and raised in Aroostook County, enjoy motorcycling in my spare time, and am married with one son and a furry four-legged sidekick named Freckles. I strive to put the interests of members first, and it is my honor to represent the members on the Board of Atlantic. I call this meeting to order. We need 15 members present for a quorum, and I see on our meeting page that we have more than met that requirement. The Atlantic bylaws require an annual meeting of the membership, and you're participating in the first ever virtual meeting in the history of Atlantic. The purpose of the annual meeting is to provide you, the members, an opportunity to connect with the board and leadership and receive an overview of the prior year's financial performance, as well as a forward look of proposed activities in Atlantic's strategic plan. Today's meeting is scheduled for approximately 30 minutes. One benefit of this format is that the meeting will be recorded and loaded into the Atlantic website so that members that were not able to attend today can view the meeting. Robin King, Atlantic's Marketing Content Manager, is the moderator overseeing the technical portion of today's program. Before we begin, I would like to ask you to join me for a moment of silence to recognize the passing of Jerry Menard last year. Jerry was a longtime member and dedicated director. Thank you. The agenda for the meeting will include a roll call, election of board members presented by the nominating committee, and then a business meeting with remarks from myself, the board chair, and then a performance report from Atlantic CEO Scott Creation. Prior to the meeting, you received a link to the Atlantic annual report in the email invitation for this meeting. I will ask Secretary Lisa LeBay to start with a roll call.
Thank you, Tammy. First, I would like to acknowledge Honorary Director Leon Lafley for signing up to attend. For the Atlantic Supervisory Committee in attendance today, Rob Glenn, Chair of the Supervisory Committee, Ethan Minton, Samantha Brink, Michael Kusma, and Kathy Holt. The following Atlantic board members are present: Tammy Ward-Gower, Chair, Tom Perkins, Vice Chairman, Jim McKay, Treasurer, Howard Dupey, Director, John Anagnostis, Director, and I am Lisa LeBay, Board Secretary. Unfortunately, board member Larry Littlefield is unable to attend this afternoon.
Thank you, Lisa. I would like to have each board member introduce themselves to the members and say a few words. Tom, will you start us off?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tom Perkins, currently serving as Vice Chair. Before becoming a Director of Atlantic Credit Union upon the merger with York County Credit Union, I served on the York Board since 1994, serving as Chair on a couple of occasions. I live in Sanford with Terry, my wife of 43 years. And before retiring a year or so ago, my 48-year work career was spent with McDonald's and then with the world's largest distributor to McDonald's. It is an honor to serve on the board of our credit union and represent our membership.
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa LeBay, and I'm proud to say that I've been a member of the Atlantic Federal Credit Union for 31 years. I was elected to the Board of Directors in 2016 and am currently serving in the role of Secretary. It has been my honor to help you do better.
And Howard, could you go next, please?
Certainly. Good afternoon. I'm Howard Dupy. I've been a member of the credit union for over 30 years. I'm a strong advocate for nonprofit financial institutions and believe that Atlantic Federal Credit Union to be an outstanding leader in the field. I'm honored to have been an opportunity to serve the credit union, first as a member of the supervisory committee and then as a board member for over 9 years. I've also been chosen to serve on the board's newly formed Atlantic Federal Credit Union Foundation, which you will hear more about later in this meeting. Thank you.
It appears that Jim might be having some technical difficulties, so let me read his bio for you today. I have the privilege of being the board treasurer of your credit union. I have over 25-year history with the world of credit unions, having retired as the chief financial officer of York County Federal Credit Union some 15 years ago. In Jim's spare time, he oversees the Hollis Food Pantry. It's a satisfying and personally rewarding ministry with 6 to 8 other seniors to help meet a never-ending need in the community of Hollis, Maine, where he lives. We are all going through a very challenging time right now, and Jim wants everyone to be safe and take care of yourself and your families. And he wishes everyone the very best. And next, could I please have John?
Yes, thank you, Tammy. My name is John Anagnostis, and I'm a resident of Topsom, Maine. My profession as an educator for the past 36 years has enabled me to see how important it is to be involved in many small communities. I have lived and been active in the Mid-Coast area for many years, but grew up in Saco, Maine. As a young boy, my father introduced me to my first credit union right there, and I've been a member ever since. I'm so happy to be a part of Atlantic Federal Credit Union over the past 11 years as a supervisory committee member and a board member, and look forward to be there for a productive future.
This is Tom Perkins. It's unfortunate that Larry Littlefield is unable to be here today. I'd like to share with you a little bit about Larry. He retired in 2010 after 41 years in public education, served his last 20 years as superintendent of schools. Larry has been a part of the Atlantic Board of Directors and the Supervisory Committee for the past 10 years, and he served as board chair for 3 of those years. He and his wife, Christine, have been married for 53 years. They have 2 children and 7 grandchildren.
Thank you, Tom. I call on our board member, Howard Dupy, for the nominating committee report and the results of the election.
This year's nominating committee consisted of Chair Dan Sutton, Donna Hodgson, and myself. We were tasked to fill the 3 expiring positions currently held by Tom Perkins, John Anagnostis, and Larry Littlefield. The September's monthly credit union statement that is mailed to all members included an announcement that open nominations from the membership. Interested applicants were to solicit signatures from 1% of the membership, or approximately 480 to 500 signatures, provide a statement of qualification and a biography. As there were no nominations from the membership, and after reviewing the service of existing board members, we, the nominating committee, submitted the following candidates: Tom Perkins, John Anagnostis, and Larry Littlefield. All have indicated a willingness to continue to serve an additional 3-year term. We thank them for their willingness to serve our members. I'd like to take a moment to thank my other committee members, Dan and Don, for all their efforts. In closing, we ask the secretary to cast 1 ballot for each to serve a 3-year term on the board of directors. Thank you.
As secretary, I move to cast 1 ballot for each Tom Perkins, John Anagnostis, and Larry Littlefield to serve a 3-year term.
I second the motion.
Seconded by Jim. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Howard, Dan, and Donna, for your service. Now for the business meeting portion of the agenda today. In our current format, we will suspend the reading of the minutes from the 2020 annual meeting. Each of you received a link to the minutes in the email invitation to this meeting. If there should be comments or questions, please submit them in the Q&A section on your screen. On your screen, you should see a small chat box with a question mark. Click on it and then click to ask your question or provide your comment. For those that are viewing this meeting on a desktop or a laptop, you can see the example on the slide shown for you. If you are viewing on an iPad or smartphone, your setup may look a little different. We will answer all questions posed in writing and send an email to all of those that have attended the meeting today. 2020 has been a year of firsts and unprecedented challenges in all aspects of our lives. This is my first year as chair of the board, and I had some large shoes to fill when Dave LeClaire stepped down from the board after over 32 years of volunteer service. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dave for his years of service and for taking the time to share his experience with me as I transitioned into this role. The work of your board of directors and the members of Team Atlantic is driven by our mission, so it is fitting that I start with that today. Atlantic is dedicated to enhancing the lives of our members and the communities that we serve. Atlantic is here to help you, the member, do better. The board is the voice of the members, and each of us takes that responsibility seriously, as do the volunteers on your supervisory committee. I am pleased to report that your board and supervisory committee continued meetings and work throughout the year, shifting to virtual meetings but maintaining all of our required review, follow-up, and oversight, as well as responding to the pandemic and continuing to strategically grow the credit union. Your board had 100% participation during this time and also took on the work of updating the bylaws. These bylaws were submitted to and approved by our governing body, the National Credit Union Administration, and are in place for 2021. As the pandemic swept into our lives in the first quarter of 2020, every facet of our lives was impacted, and day-to-day activities that we once did with little thought or planning became harder and took more time. During this time of crisis, I observed the members of Team Atlantic becoming more focused, more cohesive, more innovative, and more dedicated than ever at providing quality service and financial support to our members to help them do better. Today, I would like to share with you a few examples of how Atlantic and your board came together to live our mission and continue to enhance the lives of members and serve our member communities. By far, the most complex challenge that Atlantic has faced and continues to face is how to offer outstanding service to our members while balancing the need to provide a safe and healthy environment for our staff, members, and extended communities during a worldwide pandemic. The board knows that the closure of the lobbies and resulting lines at the drive-thrus was frustrating for many, including Atlantic staff. Atlantic leadership and the board agreed, based upon the best data available at the time, that the health and safety of our members, our communities, and our staff was a priority, and worked to find additional safe avenues to serve members during the pandemic and for years to come. One of those avenues is video banking by Atlantic. As necessity is the mother of invention, Atlantic staff rapidly researched and implemented video banking by Atlantic, which allows members to video chat with a live member service representative. Atlantic is the first in the state to offer this service, which provides a safe and secure banking experience without having to physically enter a branch location. I am pleased to report that this timely innovation has been well received and is being adopted by increasingly more members. We have all been pushed outside of our comfort zones this year, and we have all learned some new skills along the way. This is one example of Atlantic's dedication to finding innovative ways to serve our members. The pandemic has threatened the food security of many in our surrounding communities, and in March, Atlantic answered the call from Good Shepherd Food Bank and donated $50,000 to help provide food for people in need. Each year, the Maine Credit Union League and member credit unions like Atlantic raise funds for ending hunger, which has continued to be a vital need this year. I am thrilled to report that during 2020, Atlantic raised $138,000 to support the campaign for ending hunger in Maine, supporting our members and the communities that we serve. Recently, your Atlantic board voted to form a foundation to manage our investments in the communities we serve and take the next step to increasing our commitment to social responsibility. The foundation will allow us to build on the success of our ending hunger donations and our annual scholarship awards. When PPP loans were passed to support small businesses, Atlantic stepped up to the plate, and in the first round of payroll protection loans, worked around the clock to secure 316 loans for member businesses to help them keep their staff employed. They continued that work with a second round of PPP loans and now are helping those businesses process the paperwork for loan forgiveness. For those individual members negatively impacted by the pandemic, Atlantic Member Solutions work to find creative solutions to help them and their families. For my fellow board members and I, each of these items illustrates the heart of Atlantic. People helping people. I would like to thank the current Board of Directors and Supervisory Committee for their dedication, strong leadership, and countless volunteer hours. I would also like to thank the Atlantic staff for their unwavering dedication to the membership and to the volunteers during a time of unprecedented challenges. The Atlantic Board will continue to put members first and strive to find innovative, forward-looking solutions that position Atlantic as an industry leader. I started today with the Atlantic mission, and I will also end with that mission, which has and will continue to guide everything that we do. Atlantic is dedicated to enhancing the lives of our members and the communities that we serve. Atlantic is here to help you, the member, do better. I now welcome Atlantic President and Chief Executive Officer, Scott Cretion, to provide his report.
Thank you, Tammy. It has truly been a remarkable year of transformation and growth for Atlantic. The annual report sent to you in the email with your meeting link includes the financials for 2020. I want to take a moment to provide some highlights. The total assets of Atlantic Federal Credit Union ended the year at $865 million. Our total deposit growth was 20.5%, which translates into total deposits of $759 million. Loan growth increased by 4.6%, or $26 million in net new loan growth, which means the Atlantic loan staff closed $280 million in loans in 2020. Total dividends and interest paid to the members exceeded $5.34 million. That includes Atlantic CASASA members sharing cash rewards of over $1.5 million. Our capital to asset ratio remains strong at 10.82%. This month, the National Credit Union Administration released the 2020 stats for all credit unions in the United States. On average, credit unions with less than $500 million in assets saw a decline in total loans, a decline in membership, and a decline in net worth. For credit unions like Atlantic, with less than $1 billion in assets, but more than $500 million, there was an increase in total loans, membership, and net worth. Being a well-capitalized credit union allows Atlantic to meet any challenges that, together, we might face. And the pandemic of 2020 presented many challenges. I appreciate Tammy mentioning video banking by Atlantic. Seeing our members is important. From the time that we approved the investment, we went live within 6 weeks, an unbelievably fast turnaround thanks to Emily Hamilton and the video banking team. If you've not tried it, I encourage you to get the Atlantic Video Banking app or make an instant call from our website. The most significant transformation in 2020, having staff work from home. Before the pandemic, the idea of Atlantic employees securely working from home was not a hope, not a dream, nor a priority. In March of 2020, we quickly realized the need for a plan to protect members, our community, and our staff. A plan to make sure the branches stayed open. A plan to have as many staff as possible work from home. We created an incident response team that included senior leadership, information technology, human resources, and retail. Within weeks, we had 70% of our office staff securely working from home. It was a fantastic feat led by John Stowers. Tammy also mentioned the Paycheck Protection Program and members who were financially impacted by the pandemic. I want to acknowledge a couple of staff members. Chris Perry and the entire commercial lending team helped local businesses secure a financial lifeline with the Paycheck Protection Program. When announced, it was a race against time. The federal government initially stated that once the money was gone, it was gone. Sarah Lepanis, Member Solutions Manager, and her staff were masterful in providing quick solutions for many members who experienced financial challenges. The requests from members to defer loans were unlike anything the credit union had ever experienced. And I will add one other note. The work by the Atlantic mortgage staff in 2020 was extraordinary. I know the low rate environment has been disappointing for depositors, but for borrowers, it was a very different story. We had a massive wave of members and new members coming to Atlantic to refinance mortgages. Val Campbell and her team were a large part of our success last year. With staff in good health, the health of Atlantic remained strong. Along with being a majority owner of QSO Home Lending, we also own Atlantic Financial Services and Atlantic Federal Credit Union Insurance. These companies are also focused on helping members do better and contribute to making Atlantic Maine's leading credit union. A couple of weeks ago, I attended the CUNA Credit Union National Association Governmental Affairs Conference, a two-day virtual experience. Along with Board Vice Chair Tom Perkins, Board Treasurer Jim McKay, and Board Secretary Lisa LeBay, a lot of information was shared, but what resonated with me the most were comments from CUNA's president and CUNA's board chair. They spoke about how the financial well-being for all is how the credit union difference becomes tangible for members. They encouraged credit unions to continue the legacy of being a disruptive financial service provider that meets the needs of all consumers. Last year, Atlantic staff focused on two important planning projects that we believe will make a tangible difference for members. One substantial change is upgrading the contact center phone system. Calls increased to a high point of almost 18,000 calls in 1 month. The new software will soon be installed to help our contact center staff meet your needs. Another transformation in 2020 was a significant surge in mobile deposits. Remote deposits grew 87%. We know that the use of digital banking services will continue to increase. Chris Berube has led an Atlantic team researching the best options to enhance our digital banking and deliver a modern digital experience. We have begun the transition. This summer, we'll unveil the new digital banking by Atlantic. It will be more convenient, easier to use, and have unique features, such as seeing your approximate credit score when you sign in. Plus, your desktop digital banking will act and look the same as your mobile digital banking. At Atlantic, we believe that innovation can enhance the financial well-being of our members. We believe in helping our members grow to be financially strong and prepared for their financial future. When our members do better, we do better, and then we can help others. Tammy shared the incredible dollars raised to support the campaign for ending hunger in Maine. From the Mid-Coast to Kittery, we'll be distributing funds to 18 amazing community food pantries. The Atlantic Federal Credit Union Foundation is another example of being able to help others. Seeded with a donation of $370,000 from Atlantic Federal Credit Union, the foundation's mission is to strengthen, support, and promote the common good in the communities served by Atlantic Federal Credit Union. Social impact, financial well-being for all. Those are the hallmarks of a great credit union. It was Edward Filene who pioneered the formation of credit unions in the United States. He said, "The credit union movement is a great movement, worthy of great deeds, deserving of great loyalty." I thank you all for your loyalty to Atlantic. I now welcome back Board Chair Tammy Gower.
Thank you, Scott. This concludes the meeting. As a reminder, if you have a question or a comment, you can submit it in the Q&A section on your screen. We will respond and send an email to all who have signed up to attend the meeting today. We will also include a link to the recording to this meeting. I want to thank you all for attending today's meeting, and I now officially adjourn this 80th annual meeting of Atlantic Federal Credit Union.